Before we get into the surgeries, the needles, and the ultrasounds, I want to take you back to where this egg freezing journey actually began. So in 2021, I met a man and we started getting more serious, and he mentioned to me that not being able to have biological children was a deal breaker for him, which I respected, because know your limits and your boundaries, King. But it made me consider something that I never thought about. I wasn't one of those little girls who dreamed of her wedding day since she was younger, or one of those young women who thought, oh man, I can't wait to feel my baby in my belly. And I think that's really because I didn't come from a family of marriages and weddings, and I don't recall ever seeing another woman pregnant. So it was never something I could aspire to. It was always something that I thought would just naturally happen. You go to school, you get good grades, you'll go to college. You do well in college, you'll get a job. You do well in that job, you'll make money for you and a family. You'll meet a man, you'll get married, and you guys will have a baby and live happily ever after. I never once considered one of those steps not working until our conversation. And so I waited until the end of 2021 for my next scheduled gynecologist appointment. Ladies go every year and get that cootie cat checked. And I asked her if she could check to see if I can have babies. She told me that there's no real way to check that. Everything that you check is at this point in time. It's today, next week can look different, your next cycle could look different. But because I was able to track my periods for 10 plus years and we saw no real change and I don't have any symptoms, she said it's more than likely that I don't have anything to worry about. But if it's still something that's bothering me, it doesn't hurt to get a fertility assessment. And so I reached out to a friend who I knew had gone to a doctor and had a great experience. The issue there is that I didn't realize that picking the correct doctor in that center is what really would matter. I had a horrible experience. I documented it. It's like 6 minutes long. You guys let me know if you want to hear that. It's not a very weird experience at a doctor, but it really turned me off into this whole egg freezing journey. So I took that information I had from those appointments at that other center and I took it back to my OBGYN, which she's amazing. And she sat down with me for 30 minutes. Not examining, just sitting down and talking to me about how I feel, answering any and all questions. I brought my ultrasounds and some documents. She didn't even need to look at those. But she was like, look, they can tell you this, but they are only checking at this point in time. That doesn't mean anything. Also, they're checking the number of eggs you have. That doesn't tell you if those are mature or viable or anything. So you can check all you want, but it's not a guarantee. So if you're comfortable with other methods, right? Other people can go through, adoption or fostering or surrogacy. And I actually took fostering classes already. So that's always been something that's in my mind anyway. So she really gave me some ease in this whole process, and it made me just feel a lot more comfortable. So I took that home with me and digested that information on my own. Fast forward a couple months later, I'm talking to my group of friends about the appointment that was just horrible for me. And one of my friends mentions that she actually froze her eggs and had an amazing experience with a Black female doctor. And our benefits fully cover egg freezing. And so while talking to my gynecologist, that's one of the things that she also brought up, because egg freezing is not cheap. It's going to run you from medications to visits to anesthesiologists. It's going to run you about $17,000 in New York City. So I said, ain't no way I'm doing this. But when I heard that we had coverage and she told me that she had a great experience and she recommended that I start, I said, let me go ahead and schedule an appointment. So before my appointment, I actually started getting ready because, like I said earlier, in my mind, everything was great. I would be able to start right away. So I prepped to release all toxins from my body. I stopped getting Botox. I stopped drinking. This is actually the photo of the last day I drank. RIP. I didn't have to lay off on the weed because I only would do edibles every so often. This is a video of me when I had my party bus and I handed out edibles to all my friends and everyone fell asleep on the bus even though I brought 2 strippers in. Yeah, I could tell that story another day. I kept up on my workouts and I said, I am ready to go. The funny part is later I was at a party right before my appointment and I was talking to one of my other friends and she was like, oh, did you go to this facility? Oh, who's your doctor? And we all found out we had the same doctor. So it put me at a lot more ease and comfort going into this appointment, knowing that it would be a very different experience than the one I had at the other facility.